Hello Capricorn, Elsie here to do your reading for the week ahead. How are you, Cappies? Hey, look, this week ahead stuff, right? It's already going into March. If you're here real time, we're already reading into the first week of March. So I'm here with some oracles as usual. We're going to throw them down for the overall energy, and then we will look at the tarot for some details. If you are my ride or die and you're back, thanks for being back. And if you are someone who's here brand new, cross-watching, or you are a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, there is a subscription button down in the bottom right-hand corner if you're interested in staying. Let's find out what the oracles have to say for you, Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn for the week ahead, please. We do have the giraffe spirit. See the big picture. There is something here that you need to notice. And I feel like it's possibly numbers. We've got 11, right? And so possibly maybe you're seeing the bigger picture. Possibly you're seeing 11s or 1s. Possibly the see the big picture has got the giraffe on it, right? So I feel like you're going to be awoken to something, because usually the 1111 is the first numbers that you begin to see when you're in your awakened state, when your third eye is starting to open just a little bit and you start to become aware. So I feel like you're becoming aware of something that is around you here. We've got the starfish. It says open to infinite possibilities. You start to be hopeful. We have card number 14 here, and Sagittarius energy, that is temperance, asking you to be vulnerable, right? It's like the starfish is showing the underbelly. The underbelly of a starfish is very vulnerable, right? The underbelly of anything is very vulnerable, but I think it's asking you to be vulnerable and to be open to all the infinite possibilities, that you are safe. I feel like it's safe to do so, because 14 is the temperance card. I feel like it's healing, balance. I feel like it's protection. I feel like you're safe to do so if you want to be open to some sort of possibility once you do see the bigger picture. What else here do we have for Capricorn? We have diligence. So I feel like you really need to look over the landscape, is what I'm going to say. Whatever it is that you're seeing, because now we have the bird, and it's indicating you're going to see things from the top down. First, it is the giraffe spirit, and now it's diligence, right? You can see all the lays of the land, right? It's like you're going to have the view from the top side down here, and there should be no reason that you can't figure out what's going on. I feel like it's being made very clear to you. Something is simplicity. It's being made very simple and clear for you here to make some sort of, it feels like it's building up to be some sort of decision or something that the universe needs you to see to make a change. What else do we have here, please? We've got grief. Okay, so it says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So I feel like you're supposed to see why you lost this thing. If you are living in some sort of energy of loss, it could have been because of pride. It could have been because you weren't willing to change your mind, or that you were living from the ego at that time. It says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So I feel like pride is like, I don't think that, to me, because I was raised religious, right? Pride comes before the fall, and being proud isn't something that you want to be proud of, if that makes sense. But loving, it says, I love myself. So first of all, that can be a little bit of ego, right? I love myself, but not if it's in a good way. If you don't think of yourself as better than anyone else, I feel like this pride that's the kind of pride they're speaking of. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So I feel like what it's saying is that, I see when others have grief. I see when others are happy. I see when others are sad. It's like I see myself, and so I have a little bit more compassion for those people. So I feel like there is something here that you have lost, or that you may lose in the week ahead. And it feels like it's going to bring you a little bit of grief. Or maybe this has already happened and you're already feeling this grief, but you're supposed to open to the possibilities of possibly seeing something from the top down, and you'll see why this energy is present. You'll see why you had to lose something, and it was to appreciate it. Let's find out what else we're talking about here. Tell me about Capricorn. It feels like it could be a friendship, or maybe you're moving somewhere. It feels like maybe it feels like it's something that you expected to lose. And so maybe it is maybe a layoff, or I'm not saying you're going to lose your job, but what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't feel like this is the grief of losing a human life. Like, I don't think that it's that kind of grief. I feel like it's a lesson that's being taught to you about things that, maybe you didn't get the job you applied for. Do you know what I mean? That would be a little bit of grief too, because all of that money could have helped if it was a job that was paying you more. It feels like something like that. Tell me more. I feel like you're going to see why. Whatever the grief is, you're going to probably find out why in the week ahead. So it might be about an opportunity here. We've got the Page of Pentacles, an opportunity that's going to give you just a little bit more stability than you have now. We do have the Emperor. It might be a lot more responsibility for not a whole lot of extra pay. We've got the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like it's a negotiation that's about to take place in the week ahead. It feels like if you give to me, I'll give to you. It's like when we go and we work for an employer. You give me your time and your services, and I will give you money in exchange for that. So it feels like there's some sort of a negotiation that's coming up. And so it could be, if this is about a job, it feels like you're already unemployed. So I don't think that you're going to be losing a job, but it says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So maybe you were unemployed for a little while, and it feels like that you are maybe overqualified, I'm going to say, for a lot of the jobs that have come to you. It feels like you'll be taking some sort of a position, 6 and 1 is 7, where possibly a position's being offered to you where you're going to have to put in more work than you ever have for just a very little extra pay. And it feels like, they're negotiating with the Emperor, but it feels like you have lost something, and it feels like you now appreciate what you had. And I feel like it wasn't through any mistake of your own. I feel like it's just transitional, but it feels like the energy here is telling me that you're going to see why. You're going to figure out why. We've got the Queen of Swords. We've got the Justice card. Yes. So I feel like we could be talking about a friendship. We could be talking about a job. It feels like the Queen of Swords. Oh, and the King of Swords is here as well. This could be people that are possibly going to hire. It feels like, I want to say, if you did lose something, it might have been an argument. It could be that as well. It could be an argument or a negotiation that would have given you more money than you were making, and more money or more energy. So maybe you were negotiating a friendship or negotiating a relationship. Look, I need to spend more time with you if this is going to work. So I feel like the Six of Pentacles is telling me reciprocal, but it's also giving me this energy of negotiation, because the Emperor is a master negotiator. So it could be relationship related, that maybe you lost a negotiation of some sort. The Justice card is here, and it feels like that if you did not get what you wanted in terms of this negotiation, I feel like justice is still here. It feels like if you speak up, you might be able to talk your way into something better, I'm going to say, because the King of Swords is a master negotiator. This is somebody who has all the words, all the facts, all the truth. This person, like, there's no way that you can argue your way around the King of Swords. Lawyer, judge, magistrate, somebody who's used to presenting all of the facts in order for it to play out in their favor. It feels like you come up against somebody who is the Queen of Swords. That person is also someone who is a very good negotiator, highly intelligent, and is also working from a head over heart space. Yeah. It feels like it could be because of a job or because of a higher position. It feels like you will get justice here, but it feels like there's a negotiation that needs to take place. And it doesn't all have to be about work. This could be a negotiation of a relationship, right? An important relationship. Maybe it's a business relationship, but maybe it's a friendship. It could be a relationship as well. It feels like maybe somebody is trying to negotiate more time. We need to spend more time face to face. And someone else thinks that it's going to be way too much work to do that. So seeing the bigger picture and the Page of Pentacles, tell me what this is here. Tell me what the bigger picture is. We've got the Page of Wands. The bigger picture is, if you decide to take it, it's going to be far more exciting than anything you've done in the past. We've got the Page of Swords. It is going to give me a chance to use my analytical skills, to use my skills of being curious and digging things up. Maybe instead of being the lawyer, they want you to be the lawyer's assistant. Do you know what I mean? It feels like you need to start at a lower level, maybe a lower pay, but it might be a little bit more pay than you were making before. But it feels like there has to be a level of curiosity, your ability to be able to do a lot of investigation work, and that appeals to you. I feel that it appeals to you here. We've got the Queen of Cups. So it feels like it is an energy of seeing the bigger picture, which means that I feel like it's starting from the beginning. Whether this is a relationship or whether this is work or a volunteer position, whatever it is, it's like you need to see the bigger picture. You can't just go and say, well, that's only $1 more than I made the last place, right? Because I feel like it moves quickly into the place of the Emperor. I feel like they hire you on or take you on to the voluntary position, or you make this new friend, or you're negotiating the relationship on a trial basis. It's like you're a new subscriber, trial basis. You can quit whenever you want, kind of thing. You can back out of it whenever you want. But it feels like this this ability to be able to be to not have all of the, I want to say, all of the things that the Emperor would carry. You can start out on this new path. It's kind of exciting, and it gives you the ability to be able to practice your curiosity, to maybe teach yourself some things again, and you can do it without having to be the hard ass of the King of Swords. It feels like you can do this in a more compassionate way. It feels like now, instead of trying to, maybe you're the lawyer that is the defendant and you're arguing against something that you know is wrong. Maybe now you're going to have a chance to be able to dig up some things in the job that are going to make processes better. Maybe that's why they've asked you to come into their volunteer organization. Maybe you have the skills of a negotiator, and they need someone who can negotiate better deals, better money. It feels like it is a negotiation thing, though. It feels like you're the person with all the smarts, and that you are the person who is going to be in the negotiation process here. So we have the Seven of Swords, we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Three of Swords. So I feel like this grief here, it says here, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. I feel like the Seven of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Three of Swords is telling me that there is a victory to be had here. It feels like the victory is hiding under the surface, though, and it feels like you can't see it yet, but I feel like there is a victory here. You are going to get a lot of attention for all of the information that you bring to an organization, a relationship, or a friendship. It feels like this grief is the remembrance of something that didn't work out for you. Maybe you got laid off. Maybe you got fired. Maybe the last relationship didn't work. Maybe the last friendship didn't work. But it feels like there is a remembrance of, well, I didn't do very good at this last time. Am I going to do very good at this time? I do feel like they hire you on, if this is a job, they hire you on doing something that is like you would see it as beneath you. Or it doesn't, maybe you have a master's degree and this is something that someone that really doesn't need a degree at all is doing, but they're willing to pay you more than you were making at the other place in order to give you a trial subscription. You get a 2-week trial, right? But I think it works out for you because justice is here with the King of Swords. So I think they quickly realize that you are somebody who is very much into justice, that you are someone who is very smart, and you are someone who is a great negotiator. There you are, Queen of Pentacles. That's your energy. We have the Seven of Pentacles, that you work really hard, that you are somebody who can do it flawlessly. It's like whatever they give you, you make it look easy. They say it's okay, get it back to us in a week, and you're back with it in 3 days. It feels like you're a person who's very efficient. You work really hard. You give things all of your energy. And you're willing to work as hard as you have to in order to make the next step, which is maybe the King of Wands energy. It feels like you're very motivated, I want to say. That's the first thing they're going to notice about you, that you're very motivated, and you're also very giving and very kind, I feel. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups here, it feels like, although whether you are feminine or masculine, we have the three queens here, that you can be a bit of a hard nose, I'm going to say. But I also feel like you do it with the kindest compassion. So I feel like I'm speaking to someone who's very much in balance of their feminine and masculine energies, no matter which one you are. I feel like you're very balanced in your masculine, and feminine energy. So we have the King of Wands energy, and I feel like you're also very motivated. I feel like the end game here is the Emperor energy, and I feel like the Emperor energy comes with a raise. I'm just going to say, we've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the King of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Hermit energy. So this is the trial period. It feels like that they are going to watch, wait, and see. I feel like this King of Pentacles energy is in the reverse because the deal is on the table. Do we give Capricorn the deal or do we not? It feels like deal is on the table, and whatever you do in this situation, whatever the situation is, it feels like somebody's going to make a decision based on whatever they see as your performance. I feel like it does end up with you getting some sort of they're really going to love you there. Or the person that you're negotiating the relationship for or with, I would say, they realize that you are their person, that you're really very interested in an intellectual, practical, slow-moving relationship that is going to be very passionate, compassionate, right? There's lots of fire, lots of water. There's temperance here, which is balance. I feel like there is somebody who's watching you because the Page of Swords is here, and it feels like it's from the top down. Like they're really seeing you for everything that you are. They're really analyzing you, I want to say. And I feel like it's somebody who sees you as themselves. So either the boss sees you as someone who's coming in as the young gun, right? And they're like, that person reminds me of myself. Or if it's love, it could be somebody who's like, you just seem so much like me, like we have so much in common. I feel like this negotiation process works out in your favor. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So if it is love, I feel like it ends up being 10 of Cups love. If it is a job, it ends up being 10 of Cups for you. It ends up being really happy and a new path of something you're really in love with, whatever it is that you're doing here. The Eight of Wands tells me everything's moving quickly and in the right direction. We have the Hanged Man energy and the Queen of Wands. Well, there we go. Somebody here, we've got, if it is love, it feels like there is passion here, as well as a very cerebral connection. Somebody wants to have a very cerebral connection with you, and I feel like this Hanged Man energy is the contemplation period, the period where we're trying to get a different perspective. Is this the person for the job? Is this the person I want to fall in love with? Is this the person I want to be my bestie? Whatever it is, I feel like somebody's examining you from the top down, and I feel like you win whatever it is. I'm going to leave that right here. I hope all of that made sense, or maybe some of it. I'm going to go for now. Thanks so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you, and I'll be back because I'm always back. You guys take care. Bye-bye.